What's happening, folks? Just like Jig Night. And we are the greatest jig show on earth. Welcome to Jig Squad, folks. Another Jig Night in 2023. What is happening to everyone? We're going to do a little roll call real quick, and I'm thankful you're here tonight. We're going to be talking about some different things tonight. A little bit of crappie jig design, some bass jig design, because some of you bass guys should be paying attention to some of this stuff. So TJ Tucker is here tonight, my man, Trippy Stix. Many of you follow him, and I'm super excited to have him on Jig Squad. I'll do a little roll call to the crew here before we bring Trippy in. He's in the back room, but Big Malone, Jay, what's happening, bud? Split Shot, welcome. Gators, Mike Bradley. Who else we got in the house? Dave Richardson, Omerta, Michael Bradley, Brian Schmidt, Darius, Todd Bennett, Little Rich. And for everyone else that comes jumping in here in the first 10, 15 minutes, Larry Hadley, the man himself, is in the house. So, guys, listen, we're going to get him in. Andrew Sheehan's back, fishing a 262. All right, let's go, guys. Trippy Stix is here, Mr. TJ Tucker himself. I'm bringing him in. Let's go. It's Jig Night. Trippy, finally, we got you on Jig Squad, man? My dude. I am so excited for this. I feel this is like my chance to learn some new stuff. Yeah, there you go, dude. We are here, dude. So all right, start us off, dude. Tell us a little bit about you. So for anyone in chat, or if you're watching on replay, if you have not seen Trippy stuff, you could check him out on Instagram. I'll be flashing up the Instagram stuff here and there, and there's links down below. But TJ, tell us a little bit about you. How long you've been making jigs, how you got started making the jigs that you make, anything you want to start with. What do we need to know about the man behind the crazy cool sticker, Trippy Stix? Tell us, my friend.
Well, I think I started wanting to do this back in about, I don't know, 2018, 2019. I was really looking into it hard. I was paying attention to like Small Jaw on YouTube. I like his stuff. I like watching him make stuff. SDG, I was watching him a lot.
Yeah.
And I got hooked. I was like, man, I can do this, you know. So that's kind of how it all started for me. And then I took about a year of just researching stuff, you know. And once I got my first vise and my first thing of thread and I got a couple pieces of like just bright standard colored Chanel like this.
Yeah.
And that's where it all started. I started tying, and believe me, the first stuff I tied was horrendous. It looked horrible, but it still worked. Like my brother actually called him a beta fish. It was actually funny because I was leaving the silicone part. I was leaving them super long, so I wasn't really trimming anything up. I was just, you know, just going with the flow, just trying to. Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to, you know, make my own way a little bit, but it was just, you know.
I get what you're saying, and I think chenille is like an amazing thing. Whether you're and the all different, there's all the different kinds, right?
Yeah.
Estes and all these different things that are out there. And to be honest with you, there's so many secondary, third generation type companies out there that are reselling probably bulk branded type chenille under their own names, and maybe sometimes unique colors sometimes. But it seems like there's just like an endless supply of chenille. Like On the Fly just made this comment. He says there's miles and miles of chenille in the shop. Right. It's endless.
Yeah.
But for you, let me ask you a question, because I have to understand this. So the crappie jig world is not like my forte, right? I've done a lot of studying, I think, over the last year to start to learn more about the design elements of the there's some pretty primary, some design main elements that get used with some typical crappie jigs, some type of chenille, some type of tailing. And how would you describe like a typical crappie jig? Like if somebody was to say like the polo shirt of crappie jigs is classically some type of chenille, And what is the tailing typically for anyone who's in chat that doesn't see the profile of some of these crappie jigs?
I mean, I would probably consider something like this just your standard crappie jig. It's got just a
Let me
standard,
switch. There you
like a
go.
standard black Chanel. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
I tried to make it all fancy with the chartreuse bottom, but it's just a
Sure.
plain Jane black Chanel with just plain Jane feather tip, and it's actually like I think it's neck tackle, I believe. I just actually use the tips. A lot of times, I have like cutoffs like this left over, but I feel like that's just your plain Jane, crappy jigs, like stuff with a feather or
S-
plain Jane hair
Typically, a
or
lot of times
stuff of
marabou
that nature.
tips. Yes.
Yeah, marabou. I don't actually tie with marabou. It actually makes a terrible mess. I absolutely just. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't work. It's just not my cup of tea. It's not something
Yeah.
that I
No,
like to mess with and do. But
and this is where a lot of the individual style into play. And the one thing, TJ, you know what I want to say tonight. So, like I said, guys, if you're in chat, if you're listening live, I don't care if you're a bass guy, a walleye guy, if you make jigs or you don't make jigs, especially the people that don't make jigs. I want you to pay attention tonight and listen to the elements of crappie jigs, right? Generally, and start thinking about it. So if you're a bass guy, you should have an idea of what's out there because the rage in the bass industry is one of two things, right? Go big or go finesse, right? Big swim baits, glide baits, all
yeah.
these types of things, larger,
Hmm.
oversized, and then also going small, right? Finesse. Everyone wants a finesse jig in the bass world. For the guys in the saltwater world, there's all kinds of times where you might want to pull out something smaller. And the thing is, the crappie jig world is so aligned to the saltwater world in terms of the array of colors that get used. It just it excites me, right? So I think there's elements
Yeah.
that everyone can take from these different designers that come on. And so when TJ talks about some of the stuff tonight, let me tell you my opinion of some of the TJ stuff. There's a lot of crappie jig makers that I'll highlight on Jig Squad that I like, and there's a lot more out there that I don't even get to highlight. But I'm going to tell you something. TJ Trippy Stix was one of the first dudes that was down with Jig Squad when I started Jig Squad. He was always there. He was always posting. And I kind of just got to know him from that. And so he's kind of been one of my ride or die since the beginning of Jig Squad. You know what I mean? And so I always have
Yeah.
appreciated him as a designer. And there's other crappie jig makers that are like that, right? And there's more that we're gonna have on the show in the next, 4 or 5, 6 months. Um, but I appreciate it so much because everything he talks about tonight, I want to try and figure out. Well, one, they're cool crappie jigs, and I'd rather just buy those from him. But I like to take replications of that and try and apply it to making things for bass, particularly smallmouth bass. Now, when you're talking some of your hook sizes, what type of ranges of hook
Yeah.
sizes? Because I want people to have perspective. The people that are calling you or message you, they want jigs. You're probably getting a range. The crappie guys, the bass guys. What is the range of
Yeah.
hooks that people are asking for the jigs that they want you to make?
Lately, it's been a lot of big stuff, like number ones and number twos and the sickles. Nothing really over the two, J hook for me. I just a lot of guys don't. I'm not saying that it's not doesn't work. It's just a lot of guys don't order it from me like that.
Right.
But if that's what I'd say. Two, one, nothing bigger than that though for me.
All right. Let me ask you a question. When you say 2 or 1, I know that the bass guys are coming out. But let me ask you another question.
Hmm.
How many of the crappie guys are asking for jigs that are size 2? Are there any?
Yeah, a lot of them. Probably about 75% of them.
Okay. All right. So they're all not going down to size 6 or 8s, right? That's not the range. I mean,
No, not
you know,
like me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to understand because I don't know. Like if I was getting even if I was getting them for crappie, I wouldn't be getting those smaller sizes. I'm like they're gonna eat a bigger hook, right?
Well, that I mean, well, when you go to a smaller hook, I feel like you're going more for the profile of the jig. So like when I say something like that, like I don't know if you can see, but like all right, like right here or whatever this is,
Yep.
see that profile versus like this profile,
Yes.
like that's a number. The purple is a number 6, and the black is a number 8.
Okay.
So that's I kind of like to try to tie my stuff off the size of the hook. Like a number 4 has a certain profile to me. A number 6 has a certain profile to me. Um, like this would be a number 6 profile
Okay.
to me. It's like right at about an inch and a half,
Do you is that
something in that range, inch and a half.
that's interesting. So when you say that, are you talking about when you think about that and try and say profiling what type of hook you're going to use on the jig? Are you thinking about the overall length, or let me throw one more thing out at you. Are you thinking about the length that extends past the bend of the hook? Is that ever a consideration?
Yes. I I feel like when I when I first start talking to a customer, first thing I ask them is what profile jig do they like, or what size head do they like. So a lot of
Okay.
my guys like they'll say I want an 8 ounce on a number 2. So
Okay.
that's kind of like it's more of like I build it off the profile that from what I'm tying on the hook. Because the number 2, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain for me, I guess. I use
No,
the
but
number 4s and number 2s a lot, so
okay.
I don't
I understand that.
keep
That makes
lagging.
sense to me. Yeah. How about now? Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all right. At least we know.
No, it's more it's I don't really understand kind of what you're asking. More of like what are you trying to ask like what is the most popular size that I'm using, or what is like the most popular profile that I'm tying? Is that something?
Let's go profile.
Profile would be right in around inch and a half to inch and 3/4,
Okay.
something for that on a number 2. If you want to go down to like a number 4, number 6, I try to keep it like an inch and a quarter, something kind of smaller, something in that range.
Okay. Um, Talk to me about colors a little bit.
Yeah, I actually kind of like to look at plastics. Like I like to look at Bobby Garland stuff. Like all your big name like Strike King plastics. I like to just look at how what kind of colors that they have, and I kind of try to tie stuff like in that range, because I don't want to go too far off the box. You know what I mean? I kind of want to keep it, kind of reasonable, color wise. But mainly, man, your silvers and stuff are so hard to beat. Like you can catch fish all over the country on just all silver jig. It's it's kind of crazy. Plain
You
Jane, all
you
silver. We'll catch them everywhere.
you make a little jig with silver and maybe there's some mottled white in it, and I absolutely love it because I think that it would be absolutely killer for smallmouth. So like that's the type of stuff that I'm interested in, like going down to ultra finesse. And I mean for
Yeah,
me, I say ultra finesse is a bass guy, right? Um and what now, let me ask you a question. What type of weights can you make, or are you making some of those same style type of jigs? Like the silver one I'm talking about. Uh you're making that up to
man.
what size or what weighted head? 16th, 8th?
I can go up to a quarter if I if you
Mm-hmm.
know. But actually, the freestyle is what I use the most. Like that's probably one of my all-time favorite heads. So
Agreed.
my
Me too.
freestyle mold goes up to a 3/16. So that's probably yeah. It's actually awesome. Man, you can fish a swim bait with it. You can, I mean, tie jigs with it. I mean, it's an awesome mold for.
Mm-hmm.
I love it for everything. To be honest
With big eyes. You can get the big eyes on
with you.
there
Yeah,
too.
yeah. You gotta have the big eyes for it. Got to.
Um, let's see. On the fly, what does he say here? He says he's right on adjusting proportion and material usage based on hook and jig size. So critical. Way too many jigs on the market tied
Yeah,
unproportionately to the jig or hook. And that's TJ, that's why I kind
for
of asked
sure.
that question about that, like the length,
Yeah,
because there's an element of movement that you get out of the profile of the jig uh, past the round bend of the hook. And
yep.
to be honest with you, I've heard so many different philosophies on it or lines of thinking. And I was just curious how that played into that overall um, profile. So look at Debo's in here giving you a little bit of praise here too, buddy. Trippy is some sick looking
No,
jigs.
what's up, Digo?
He
Appreciate
says
that.
I'm okay too. I guess
I
so.
forgot I sent him some jigs a while back.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Nate, what's happening,
yeah, I
buddy?
did. I sent him some. I think it was last. It was at the end of last ice season, I think, for him.
Nice. Tell me the jigs. Now, you make jigs for other people, but if you're making jigs for yourself
Mm-hmm.
for crappie, what are you making? Size, color, and why? What's your
I'm
like
probably gonna
batch? If you
laugh,
had
but
to go with a small batch and go, what would your small batch be for yourself for crappie?
I have a towel on my stuff on number 6, which is
Okay.
kind of a small profile. Cause you gotta think up here in Virginia, we got a lot of black crappie, but we
Okay.
also got a few white crappie in the big lakes. You know, the big public lakes. Some of our public small lakes have them, but black crappie, they like small stuff. So that's more of the reason why I use small stuff a lot. And it's just I've had to teach myself how to use small stuff. I'm coming down from using the bigger stuff, and it's kind of been a learning curve. You know, trying different things, trying different
Okay.
lengths, profiles. Um, I think I finally nailed like the inch and quarter with number 6. Like I feel like that's it. Like
What
this would
weight
be the
is on
number
that?
6. So I know you're talking about past the bend.
Yeah.
This
What
would
weight is that,
this would
TJ?
be a 24th.
Okay.
So that would be in between a 16th and a 32nd.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got
See
to
that?
play with it the other week, or actually last week in the water, and I really like it. Like it's gonna be my new favorite jig head. It doesn't have eyes, but I'm working on getting a freestyle from Fat Guys with the 3D eyes.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm really liking that 24th. Yeah, that 24th is gonna probably be my new favorite for sure.
Interesting. And not a typical size you always hear about either. That's nice.
Nah, it's more of like see I like the slip cork a lot too. That's actually it's really fun. Like it can be really fun. I don't know. I don't care how old you are. You like to see a bobber go under the water. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Just one of them things.
I mean,
And I
dipping
feel
in wood
like
is a lot of fun. Dipping wood for
yeah,
crappie is a lot of
yeah,
fun
yeah,
too. But still seeing a cork or a bobber go down, I'm in too. I like that as well.
yeah, yeah. And
Um,
it's super addicting for sure.
Matt, South Jersey fisherman is asking, are you ever using any pill heads? I kind of think the freestyle almost replicates the
Not
pill
really.
head to an extent, but you're not using them, no?
Has a lot water bottom.
Okay.
The freestyle has a lot water bottom. I don't know. Yeah, I got one right here. I don't know if you see. Like the freestyle has that wide bottom. So like the pill head would be like half that, 3/4 of that. It'd be super narrow, if that makes sense. I don't even have a pill head here to show you a difference, but
I
just think
personally
of
think that,
how wide that bottom is.
yeah,
Just think about like quarter of that. You know what I mean?
I think that freestyle is one of the most balanced jigs,
Yeah.
mold wise out there. It
Yeah,
just
it's a
is.
killer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
Bruce, what's going on, buddy? Lime green, Nate, see you, buddy. So interesting enough, right? So I have a very difficult time separating things in my head between, as I said, uh, the things I like in the crappie, typical some typical styled crappie jigs that I want to incorporate into bass use, and then I want straight crappie stuff too, which would be a little smaller. But the one thing that I want to make mention
Yeah,
to, and I want people to at least go on Instagram and look at Trippy Stix stuff. The link is down below again, you guys. And here it is again on Instagram. It's Trippy Stix Jigs _VA. Here's the thing. The other thing I personally think is starting to make a comeback of people talking about as there's more discussion of finesse in the bass game is the float and fly method. And you should be considering some of these smaller sizes for float and fly. It doesn't have to be the 16th ounce or the 8th ounce. You can go even smaller. And if you're talking, if
yeah,
you're a smallmouth person on the Great Lakes, particularly, everything is about scaling down. And I just think you should be considering these types of things, right? I think that Trippy has
yeah,
some that I like. I really like this gray one. Do you have any of those in front of you? You know the ones I'm talking
yeah.
about?
Actually, you talking about the all silver?
Yeah,
The
it's
all
all
silver
silver,
one?
but it almost looks like holographic a little bit in the light, if I'm not mistaken.
I have one, but it has an orange head.
That's okay. I love it anyway. Orange head in the
But
spring. Oh
this
my
would be the
goodness.
silver you're talking about. Yeah, I love an orange head. Orange head's probably one of my favorites.
Oh yeah. Now we're
That's
talking.
it right there. This is a super, super, super tiny jig. Like, you're talking about it. This will fit on top of a penny. You know, for a reference. You know what I mean? Like
And you're
super, super small.
and T and TJ, you're using are you using the victory hooks on those?
Yeah, I
The
actually,
sickle cell.
I, I love the victory hooks, man. A lot of guys, you know, the whole sickle hook thing is kind of a funny thing. Like these guys are using, 13, 15-foot rods on number, 4 sickle hooks, leaning on fish, expecting them to hold up to 30 some fish. It's just that's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? You can make, I mean, you can. There's other hooks like you can use. I feel like a mustad sickle hook is might be a little bit stronger than a victory, but I'm
Right.
just hooked on the victories. How sharp they are, man. Them things are, I love them. Like I'm hooked on
Yeah. It's funny because
them.
the one thing, what I'll say is over the last year and a half, I really put the victory hooks through their paces, right? Um, and
Yeah,
I, I have to say, I've been happy with them, right? And some of the new stuff that they have
I,
out has been
bro,
crazy
no
good. Like they got a
complaints.
111 version of the Gamakatsu out now, and then they have a version of the Owner 5313 that is it's
Yeah,
phenomenal. Like I literally have used that to pour everything. And they even have a version of the Gami 604 now. But I'm
yeah.
almost starting to
I
play
actually
around with.
poured some net heads with it.
Did you? Yeah. I just what
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
good
They're all.
hooks.
I love them. They're really nice hooks.
Yeah, a couple
Yeah,
people have moved over
super
to them.
solid too. Really solid. Like you would be surprised for the price. You're like, oh man, these things. they're gonna be okay. But when you put them in your hand, you're like, man, they feel really good. Like they feel durable, well built. You know.
Trippy, for the average Joe out there, right? So you guys listen, I keep telling you the link. I honestly think that especially some of these crappie jig guys, you got to support these guys. And so even if it's not something that you majorly want to use and try, if you just wanted to try some of the finesse stuff, like look at what Brian Schmidt's saying. He's saying, oh my God, I'm making so many custom float and fly jigs recently. Crazy fun too. And there's so many different styles.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, just
So
straight
many.
from the crappie end, how do you typically, you sell them in 3-packs, 4-packs? What's the standard way you're doing most of your
I sell them.
orders?
So like I'll sell them in pack of 4 like this. Maybe this is how they'll come. And
There we go.
a lot of times I do the all feather tails, and I
Oh,
do
that silver
my
one.
specialty
Put
like the
that.
silicone. And, yeah.
You just got to tell me where I got to send my money for those silver ones.
So
You know what my problem is?
hey,
You guys listen.
actually, I do. Hold on, Kuda. Hold on, Kuda. You're about to be excited.
Oh
But
boy.
I do
I know
have
what you're
some.
going to do. You're going to pull out some purple, aren't you? Oh, look
That's
at
them.
those.
That's the ones you're
Those are
talking
the
about.
ones. Those are the ones I'm in love with.
Yeah.
Can you,
See, these are
are
on
those
that
going,
Mustad 2X.
what size are those hooks?
Number 4.
Oh my gosh.
I'll pull one out. I'll pull one out so you can see.
It's a Mustad 2X?
Yep. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but
Oh my God. Look at that
that's it.
gem.
Yeah, this guy
You
actually
know,
bought these like 2 months ago. He never come got them. So they've been
I got
sitting
to
here
get,
for a while.
what do you sell a 4-pack of those for? Or what do you normally do?
Uh, really all depends on tail style and like if you want 3D eyes, because I can still do the normal, round ball heads, which I
Yeah.
still do a few of those. But of
Those
course,
had the
if
3D eyes
somebody's
on
gonna
there,
spend the
right?
money, they're gonna want the eyes.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah. Yep.
And
And
so what do you,
of
what
course, if
about
people
that
are gonna
pack
want
of
to buy jigs,
4?
they're gonna want the eyes.
Yes.
That right there is they're $250 a jig with the silicone.
Put that pack aside, buddy.
So yeah, it's starting to get a little pricey just because you know how silicone prices are going up. It's like
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
been hard
listen,
to find stuff for me.
your
It's
time's
been
worth it.
crazy. Yeah,
That's
for
it.
sure.
I basically want to play around with these with some different and just mess around in different capacities. What's the weight on those, the ones you had a little bit ago?
Those are 16th ounce. Then I
Oh,
have some
even
24s right here.
guys, listen, you got to hit Trippy up. And if you want anything different, he can always make you things that you want. But if you look at a lot, he's got so
Oh
many
yeah.
things he posts in colors. I guarantee there'll probably be most of the things you would want. I save that pack for me, Trippy. We'll talk afterward and I'll send my money your way. So I just,
Yeah.
I
Man, you
just
gotta worry
like the
about that.
concept of using those, and
Yeah.
I just think it's something different for the fish that aren't going to see. Yeah, Jay, look at Jay is outdoors. He says size those up to a 1/4 ounce for smallies. I think those would be killer in a 1/4 ounce.
Yeah.
Tom Mick,
You actually could tie these in a 1/4 ounce, and they would look really good. Yeah.
you wanna yeah,
You could actually just do like a 3/16 ounce. I mean, it's close enough. It'll still hold.
yeah. I think what's funny, one of the things that I'm realizing lately, TJ, this is just for myself. I've gotten to the point where like the last year I've spent so much time on Jigsquad. By the way, Andrew, I didn't miss this comment you made earlier. I'll talk about that a little later. Fishing the 262. They're talking about my shirt, dude. Here, I'm gonna excite you guys even more. Hold on. I'm gonna excite you guys even more. Tell me if you could see this on the back of the shirt. This is a prototype. Tell me if you could see on the back of the shirt. Hold on. Let me figure this out right now. Can you see this up
Okay.
there?
Yeah, I like that. Go ahead, look. Hey.
I put a I had my the person that made this for me. I had him put the jig on the back up at the top because I thought it would look cool. So everyone keeps asking me
I
when
like
are the
that.
shirts coming. Here's the deal, guys. I can't even sell my damn stickers. So if you guys want to buy stickers, you guys could finish buying some sticker packs for $9 just to support Jig Squad. And I still have sticker packs of these left. I have a lot of stickers left. Message me if you want to buy stickers.
Y'all need to buy me a sticker pack.
I'm
Y'all need
just
to
gonna
buy a
send
sticker
them.
pack.
I'm gonna send them to you for being on the show, buddy.
No,
I
no, no,
just
no, no. I'll send you some jigs for 'em.
we'll trade. I actually have two
Yep.
more. I have two more prototype colored shirts and designs. It's going to be a similar design that are going to be. I'm dropping them off tomorrow. I'll probably have them by the beginning of next week. So Gators asked, so shirts, guys, they're not coming yet, but you get an idea of what's happening. We're not messing around. They're all dye sublimation, so they're not iron on, so they're pretty cool. All right, so let's see what says. So South Jersey Fisherman says, worst measuring and weight system, Tom, always making things complicated. All right, so Gators, here's a good question. Gator says, do we just message TJ via Instagram or do we have a website?
Actually, you can message me on Facebook or Instagram right now. That's one of my goals this year is to get a website built. I've been shopping around, looking, and trying to find somebody to help me out with that area. I'm not really that good with electronic stuff like that, but that's something I'm working on. But for now, you can just do everything's done with PayPal, PayPal business, so it's all legit, you know. And you can just shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram, and I do all my stuff by the list, in the order it's received. And I've been working that way since I started.
Customs are okay. Meaning, so like if I
Yep.
called and said, if I message you and I'm like, hey, I want 1/8 ounce in that silver jig with eyes or whatever,
Yep.
I could put that order in. So whatever I order,
Oh, for sure.
you design to the order, basically.
Yeah. My
Okay.
stuff, yeah, everything's made to order. Everything is when literally after you send payment, it usually takes about, you know, 3 to 5 days, depending on the order size. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of my smaller stuff's out in 3 days, right after payment. So it's pretty quick turnaround. I try to do like 3 or 4 orders at once, so I can kind of. Before I couldn't do that, I was really only doing one at a time, and I was like, man, I really got to step my game up. But this is getting intense. You know what I mean? So I started doing a couple at a time, and that's been paying off. I really need two of me, to be honest with you, but I feel that way sometimes. But yeah,
um, I,
Facebook
I,
Facebook can get kind of crazy sometimes.
I can imagine. I can imagine. I think that uh, it's hard because I think it just becomes a thing you do all the time, right? Are you tying
Yeah,
like almost every night?
yeah, basically, because like I said, I got hurt in that car accident 5 years ago, so
Mm-hmm.
I haven't. I've I kind of got put in a wheelchair since then, so this is kind of what I do. Like it's something to help me pass the time because I don't get to fish as much anymore. So
Yeah.
kind of like I've always had a passion for fishing, and this is kind of how I keep doing it. You know, I love to see other people catch stuff on my stuff, and I kind of rely a lot on like my local guys to give me a lot of feedback on changing stuff up. You know,
Mm-hmm.
especially at the bigger lakes, and that's really been working out good, man. Because they can literally message me and go, "Hey, you need to cut that a little bit shorter, or make that just a tad bit longer," and I can kind of dial it in. And they've been doing really well. So I
Good
cannot
for
give no
you, dude.
credit to them because they're the ones that helped me get everything dialed in. You know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
can't get out there and fish like they can. So it's all more like I'm relying on on Intel, basically. You know what I mean? So
like Tej, you had when was it? Was it back in August, or did you had back surgery again back in August, or when was it?
October.
October.
Yeah.
Dude, that's why I said earlier, this is one of my ride or die people, because he's been around a long time, you guys. And I'm just saying, if you support Jig Squad, consider supporting TJ, because he's just a good dude. He puts out cool little videos and stuff, and he makes a good
I appreciate
jig.
that.
Debo is asking for a chartreuse head, reflective body. Oh, and there we go. The purple tail. Make me an assorted pack and send me a bill.
Hey, I can make that happen. Shoot me a message, Debo. We can work on that for you. I actually
It's
got
so
some made already, kind of like that. I think I just have to dig
I
them up.
I've seen some cool colors with some of those colors in it and stuff you posted before.
Yeah,
Um, I just think the
that's
possibilities
what I
of what
like
we
to
can
see.
use it for, whether we're a crappie fisherman, trippy or not, like it's just endless. And if there's one thing that it cites fishermen, anything else, besides whether it's be lures or whatever, but in the jig world, it's like people get excited by color, right? In these
Yeah,
small little
for
jigs.
sure.
And the thing is, I just think there's such a use for them. I mean, look at when Brian Schmidt's saying I'm tying float and fly jigs for people all the time now. I just think it's becoming a thing again.
Yeah,
And I know float and fly goes through little cycles, but I think as there's more discussion of the finesse game that occurs, I feel like that's going to stay in the forefront. Like I said, it's this polarization of fishing where people either even want to go grande and throw big swim baits and glide baits, and or they want to go real small. And
yep,
it's so funny. There's two camps to all that. What I'm liking is when we start seeing the crossover between the camps, and you see people doing things like throwing big glide baits and swim baits for smallmouth, or the reverse, people throwing small little finessey type of crappie jigs, maybe on a river system that is predominantly largemouth bass, and things like that. Or if they're, and of
yeah,
course you've got the crappie guys again, right? So I just think that there's an
yeah,
exposure to this type of jig that I think people are missing out on. And I love it to death. One of my problems with your jigs, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I can't decide what I want. Like I can't
yeah.
pick a color. I'm like, notice I've
I'm the
settled on
same
that
way.
damn silver. I've settled
Yeah,
on
I'm the
silver.
look when I try to make my own jigs, I I'm sitting there staring at all these snails, and I'm like, man, I told myself I wanted one of them. I told myself I wanted one of those, but I can never make my mind up of which one I want. So I just kind of always tie something random, you know. So it's kind of
And then
crazy,
I
actually.
and then I start looking. I'm like, oh, that got like a blue and white chenille. That looks awesome. I go,
Yeah,
oh, wait a minute. I saw that one where he used this color thread. That really looked awesome. Um, it drives me crazy. So what do? I settle on that silver one. Omerta Tackle says, need a little gray one. Would be an epic bedfish bait. Omerta, one sentence only. You're not allowed two sentences to start telling these things to people. Show those jigs again, TJ, the gray ones. Do you have them handy? The ones that I like. Show
yeah.
Evan, look at these. These are the ones that I'm getting. Call it gobtastic.
I don't know.
Evan's,
I don't know. These are pretty good too.
oh, look at
These
that.
silver and blues with the blue tail. These are pretty good too. Like that's another good color.
See,
Yeah, here they are.
look at that. Evan Luda
So
or
these would
Murda
probably be
Tackle. Look
right
at
at
that
an
one, buddy.
inch and a half.
And those are 16,000 Tej, right? On a size
And
4
that's
hook.
made on that. Yep. On
Oh
that.
my.
I don't know the mustad hook number. I just know it's the 2X. The 2X AY one.
Yeah.
So
I
you're
just
not bending these hooks. I can promise you.
look
I
at
don't
Evan.
care what you do.
You are not. And the thing is, oh my God.
No, I don't
Guys,
know, man.
listen. What's that one? With blue eyes, blue tinsel.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yep. Now you're gonna make it out, man.
Look at what Brian
Oh,
Schmidt just said. Silver and blue, River Smalley killer. Isn't that the truth? Oh,
really? I never wore all the silver and blue.
what was the color in that last one
I'll
you
tell you what
showed?
I've been messing with lately.
Come on, let's go. See
Oh,
here,
it's like
this is the
I
juice.
call it Blue Thunder.
Okay.
All right, all right. I've been messing with finesse ball head jigs, and I know you like the finesse ball head jigs. Maybe I can
I
get
love
some
them.
intel or maybe a learning curve a little bit, but
I love them.
mine, I feel like I need to get the mold where I can put a weak guard in or something, or like a wire weak guard or something. That's what I
I can
need.
help you with. I can
But
help you figure that out.
I have to show you one. You tell me if I how much you think.
Oh boy, you had me at ball head.
This is the one that I did the other night.
Oh
You
yeah,
can see it.
with a sickle on there.
Yeah, it's actually I think it's a 1/0. Might be a 1/0, 2/0, something like that.
It's
But
beautiful.
that head's got like some copper in it a little bit. It's
That looks
something I've been
awesome, dude.
playing with that I haven't got to I haven't got to fish them yet, but I think this one's probably my favorite though.
Okay, let's
I
go.
have to say. I'm a big purple guy.
Oh yeah,
I'm a big purple guy. So
little tinsel in there. Funny enough, South Jersey fisherman Matt is saying, he goes, I like black marabou and green tinsel, kind of like woolly bugs. Usually my best color. Yeah, hard to go wrong with
yeah,
black and any type of highlight color. It really is.
no,
Purple, green.
not at all. Black,
Look at the
purple,
see.
black, blue.
So
Devo's
guys,
stuck on the
listen.
purple, huh?
Everyone's stuck in the purple. I'm so, I have to say, I'm not, me and purple are not breaking up. I don't want Debo to think I'm trading teams here. The reality is
No,
that I've been
I'm
enamored with blues lately. Blues of all things. Blues with coupled with pearls or grays or holographic. I
yeah,
just think that I think there's a blue in almost every darn single bait fish that's out there. Yes,
I'm
now
like,
we're talking.
yeah,
Now we're talking.
this is that new sexy shad plasma skirt that I got in. I haven't got
Okay.
the like another one I haven't got to throw in the water yet, but
Oh yeah. Beautiful.
yeah, of course you know. It's got the two-tone head,
Ah,
but
beautiful.
yeah, I really like those a lot.
That looks so
They
good,
kind
buddy.
of came, they like kind of the pictures of the tabs look different. You know what I mean?
Oh
So it's
yeah.
like it's kind of weird.
Look,
Bunker, what's up, Bunker?
Debo Debo's a purple nut. A lot of people are, man. I think I don't
Yeah,
know. I think every species
I'm a
of
big brown and purple
fisherman,
guy.
brown and purple. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, I'm
It
a big brown and purple guy. Like I'll show you. This is yeah, I caught some fish on this one. This one right here is probably one of my favorite combos.
all right, let's see it.
Still got the trailer on it. Still got the hook where I've tied it. But
Oh, now we're
that brown and
talking.
purple with a little bit of gold in there.
Yeah, cool.
I can't tell you how many fish I caught on this one. This has got that messed up gold crinkle that I was trying to show you before the show.
Yeah, yeah,
I got a
yeah.
bunch of heads like this that just didn't come out. That I just use them for myself. You know.
Yeah. So hey, let me make a mention of that real quick. So you guys, yeah, Debo saying Gobi. So
Yeah.
you guys, if you're not
But
following
that
Trippy on
brown looks good.
Instagram, yeah, if you've not found him on Instagram, you should be, like I said before. But the one thing you'll see is that not only does he do the crappie stuff, but he also puts out bass jigs, like he's showing just a second ago. But one of the cool things is he once in a while, Trippy has been putting out some killer looking of, I don't know what even to call them. The techno jigs, the I don't know how else to say it. The Larry Hadley type jigs, you
It's
know.
more of a
The,
yeah.
He's got some
Great
phenomenal
hang at it,
jigs.
man. I'm just following.
He's put out some
He's the
really
man.
cool stuff. And it's a real time consuming
Yeah,
thing, and I just think they look great. So even the bass jigs look phenomenal, right? But I think you sell the
yeah,
bass jigs too,
for
Trippy?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, his stuff's top notch, man.
Yeah, it is good. All that stuff looks great, buddy. I think I think I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know, guys, is if I like that silver, dude. I don't know if I could get that far away from it. Maybe a little silver and blue, but definitely that silver. That's going to be the deal. And to be honest with
Yeah.
you, I think that silver looks
I
better than
mean,
for like a bait fish.
yeah. I mean, that's kind of what it's called. When you actually when you buy that Chanel, it's called a hot shiner. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure that's the one's hot shiner. I'm not. I buy so many Chanels, it's crazy. So pretty sure that one's called hot shiner. So it's kind of that bait fish mimicking stuff. Like a lot of that natural crappy stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
know, guys think of bright when they think of crappy. You know what I mean? So when
Right.
you're pulling out brown, like these brown jigs, like these all brown jigs you see me being tying lately, the guys are out there just flat out catching them on them. And I don't know if it's more of like, I just think the fish like the natural stuff, man. I just don't. People more look at like a pink or bright chartreuse, you know, kind of like I do a little bit. But I've been playing a lot with the natural stuff lately, and like the browns and stuff. The silver's always been there, but the browns and stuff have been something new to me,
Interesting.
and they really do work. Like it's very surprising, you know, to me at least.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the diversity of what's out there, um, it just,
Yeah,
I,
I actually
to
have
me,
one.
do you really? Let's see it.
I think, yeah, I actually have one. This is the one I'm talking about. I've actually cut this tail a lot because last time I was fishing, they were short striking real bad, so I had to cut the tail back a lot. But
Oh yeah.
that's it. I mean, a lot of times I'll run a gold head. Like I've been playing with the blue head with it a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they've been flat out eating it. I don't know. I don't even know what it mimics in the water. You know what I mean? But that actually has pheasant hackle in it, and that pheasant hackle in the water, I don't even know if that's the right term for it or not, but it's more of like just cut V's with pheasant hackle or something. That's more like what here. Let's show you. I don't really know the fly terminology. So I'm sorry, guys, but like you're cutting like V's almost like this,
Oh, I
and I'm
got you.
stacking them. I don't know if you can see that,
Yep,
but
I
like
can see it.
that's all pheasant hackle. Like here's one that looks better probably.
There you go.
Yeah, like this is I use all this on my natural stuff, like my natural color jigs, and that's the stuff I've been playing with a lot lately. And I've got it
You
in a
know,
few guys' hands that they've been doing really good with it. So
like
something that's been
Brian's
pretty
saying
cool.
there, Brian's saying they eat bugs, lots of bugs, damsels,
Yeah,
dragonfly
yeah.
nymphs, or olive
Bugs. I don't
brown.
even know why I didn't think about that. Don't even know why I didn't think about bugs.
It totally makes sense.
Yeah,
All fish. I forget. You'll hear guys talk about these on the rivers and mulberries and or carp with mulberries, and I might be saying the wrong berry season, but I mean
yeah,
it's just there's all these natural elements. I'm like, hey, if us ding dongs aren't throwing something pink and chartreuse and purple in front of them, maybe they're going to eat some bugs. Imagine that, right?
yeah. I
Right?
mean, it's kind of like it's kind of like how it goes. If you're catching fish on something, don't change it. You know what I mean? If you're catching
Yeah.
fish on a certain group of colors, don't change it. You know, so there a lot of these older like you'll notice a lot of these crappy guys will help be set in their four colors. That's all they want. You know what I mean? And I've had
Hmm.
to teach myself like tying all these different random colors for people how to teach myself how to get outside the box and try different things. You know, and it's been kind of cool because like I was that one guy that was stuck on like all white, all
Hmm.
chartreuse, solid pink or something of that nature. You know, I was never the I never did the natural stuff or any like the black or darker colors. I just thought that they liked the bright stuff. Because Crappie with their eyes. So it's more
Mm-hmm.
or less. I thought you had to make it look good or make it super bright for them to bite it, and not the case at all. Live scope's telling you that. Live scope's proven a lot, even in the bass world now. Live scope's changing the game, and a lot of guys don't like to hear it, but it's kind of cool to just watch fish's reactions to different style colors, jigs, profiles, so stuff like that, especially with it. It's really cool.
I watched the other day, and it might have been out for a couple weeks already, or maybe a month. I have no idea, but I watched the Chris Zaldane podcast where he interviewed Josh Jones. And
I listened to that the other night.
if you
Yeah,
guys haven't seen this
it's a good one.
interview or this podcast episode, I'm telling you, I honestly think it is one of the best podcast episodes that I have seen in years.
For
It's
sure.
that good.
I second it. Yeah,
And
he
if
really
you
breaks it down and explains it.
oh if you heard
Yeah,
if you ever thought garbage about Josh Jones or whatever the social media the world has put out about Josh Jones, if you want a real perspective that you're able to form for yourself of Josh Jones, and also get a lesson in the history of live scope, in the history of the introduction of live scope into the bass world, in the big bass game, you have to watch this. It's a phenomenal interview. The Zaldanes, Chris and his wife did a phenomenal job
yeah,
interviewing Josh Jones, and it was about as human as you could get. And if you are, Dave's saying great podcast. Everyone, if you fish, you should be
yeah.
watching
It
this
was.
podcast. It's on the Zale Dangerous Network on Chris Zaldane's channel, but it's awesome and you should watch it. It might be an hour, maybe an hour or whatever, but take the time. It is that good. So if you're going to listen to it in podcast platform or whatever,
Yeah,
I'm not friends with Chris. This is not coming. It just happened to be, I said, let me see what this is all about. And I'm so glad I did. But it's so interesting you say that, TJ, because all this is true. Like
yeah,
we have all these different baits. One, because we're crazy and it's a hobby,
yeah.
the collecting part. But past it, we want to see what the fish do, what works, what doesn't. And
Exactly.
Gators is saying that Trade is better than Chris with the questions. Possibly so. On the fly says he's leaving
Yeah,
in his clown car now to go watch it. Oh, he didn't say clown car, but I add that in for the Tesh family. Yeah, very cool stuff. And I think that's a historical piece too, Trippy, that like I don't think a lot of people realize. All right,
yeah.
listen, I gotta ask this. What percentage of your time is spent designing bass jigs in your crafting designing time? You're doing it every night, but what percentage of your jig work would you say is making bass jigs?
5%. I don't really make them.
5%. That's why I'm happy
Yeah,
you're here, buddy.
to be honest with you, the only reason I ever started doing bass jigs was for me. Like I wanted to learn how to fish them, and I never really fished them that much. And
Mm-hmm.
when I started tying jigs, I was like, man, I I'm I'm gonna make myself fish these things. You know what I mean? Because
Sure.
they literally catch. They catch big fish. And I started with some swim jigs, football jigs, and I just fallen in love with them, man. Like I love making them. For granted, like I would love to take a break from doing crappie jigs sometimes and just make bass jigs.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really push my bass jigs like my crappie jigs. And I feel like if I
Sure.
did, I'd probably get more customers with it because the customers that do have my bass jigs really do like them. And I was playing around with the chatterbaits this year. And I mean, people,
Okay.
big thing with the chatterbaits, and that's another thing I like making too. I want to start making spinnerbaits. That's something that might even shut this whole crappie thing down. If I get hooked on these spinnerbaits, I might not ever make another crappie jig. So it's like, yeah, like it's something like I really like. I really like doing spinnerbaits like that. Like it's just something I really like doing. So
So there's a new this is already out there, but there's going to be a new renewal of this, and part of it, there's going to be a new sizing of lures that comes out, and you're going to see it more and more, and it's going to be smaller size chatterbaits. SDG, Adam SDG Custom Lure Craft, you guys on YouTube, Adam Felder, he just put out, he's actually about to put a few up on his website, smaller size chatterbaits. So basically smaller blades, and then you can accompany your sizing of jig however you want to make your chatterbaits, right? He put out some micros, small ones. Now, listen, if you're a bass person, everyone knows you don't want, half the time people don't want to throw quarter ounce, the old school, the original chatterbaits. I love them. The original version that came out. And a lot of it is because they're too light. The lift from them comes up. But when you start throwing them on lighter gear and finesse size gear, and maybe it's going to, I'm sure there's already people using them for crappie and things like that. But I just think it's a cool other element that people are going to play around with some of the chatterbaits. And that's out there too. I mean, the one thing you don't hear people talking about is the chatterbaits excel in the salt too. You know, they really do. I'll be honest, I'm not bringing them with me when I go to Costa Rica next summer, but but the point is they use them a lot in the redfish world and trout world, and some for snook, but they use them, and it just goes to show that everything we do in one area of fishing carries over, and there's a crossover in the other types of fishing that we do. And see what's funny, TJ, when you said like, you know, you just sometimes you just want to do something different and make bass jigs. That's kind of how I feel. Like I get tired of doing certain things, and that's one of the reasons I'm going to try and see a Bry. I'm going to do some design work with some other companies this year. That's my hope, right? And why? I don't know, because that gets my juices going. That's what I like to do. And I'm going to take advantage of my platform to, you know, I've formed a lot of good relationships, and I want to do some of that stuff. It just, you know, I come from an artistic background. My family, my mom was an art teacher. My sister's a graphic designer. Like everyone's in that game. Look at, I started teaching myself how to do graphic design and make things. And I don't know. I want to design.
Good, man.
It does look good. Wait till you see the other ones coming. There's two other ones that are coming. And then after that, this was the original sticker, guys. This one here was the original sticker that I put out.
I was gonna say, I thought that was the OG.
That was the OG, and I just decided I'm gonna get back to doing some basic stuff and changing the color up. So basically, the other two prototypes that I'll have in the next week are gonna be the same original design, but then with colors changed. So I don't know. I'm learning as I go, dude. I'm cutting my teeth, right? I'm having fun though. You know, a lot of people ask what else I'm doing, if I'm doing things with other companies. There'll be more stuff coming. My ears are always open. If people are asking and people are interested in collabing with me on anything, I would love to do stuff. But I'll be honest with you guys, I really like Jig Night. I like doing my thing. This show is not sponsored by anybody. Would I take a sponsor? Of course I would. But at the same time, I'm going to be brutally honest. I don't want to owe anyone. I don't want to owe anyone anything.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm having fun, dude. And what do I want? I want people to go buy some crappie jigs from TJ. And maybe if you're a bass guy, upsize them a little bit. Yeah.
Look, right now I'm booked. I am booked solid to the end of the month.
You got it. But that's good though.
Yeah, business has been really good. So I'm for sure grateful to all my customers. I'm for sure can do all this expanding and get bigger without them. So I definitely am greatly appreciative of all of them for even giving me the chance to make some. You know, because there's a lot of people out here now that, you know, it's hard to get a good reputation going. You know what I mean? Especially with all the scamming and stuff going on, stuff of that nature. You know, it's hard to build a good reputation with people and build a good customer base. You know what I mean? So that's something I'm proud of that I've done, that I've worked really hard, you know, to at least keep everything in check. quality wise, customer service wise, stuff like that, for sure.
It's a big deal, buddy. I mean, the funny thing is, like for this year, Teach, for
Yeah, it's a
2023.
lot. People,
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
uh, I'm good. I didn't. I was.
We just got our lag. That's okay, dude. We're all
Yeah,
good.
I'm trying to play the lag, and it's hard sometimes. Because sometimes it gets good, sometimes it's bad.
I know, dude. I will say this, dude. I think it was really important to me to have you on this show. Like Brian's perfect jig. What's happening, buddy? So Brian Schmidt just said this would be a good example of what I'm about to say. Your pride shows you're doing something right. And the
I
thing
appreciate that.
is, it's such a it's such a big thing to me because I said, and like 2023 has to be about me
Okay.
broadening. There's a lot of bass stuff in 2022, my first year,
Mhm.
which is fine. I'm a bass guy at heart, but I love the salt. My name's Kuda. I mean, but I like the crappie fish. I like the flathead fish on the Mississippi River. Like the
Yeah.
point is not with jigs, um, with big old bluegill and moon eye. But aside
You
from that,
probably wouldn't get my jig back up there.
right? It's just the whole thing that I believe in the blending of all these worlds of the different styles of jig makers and crappie
Yeah.
jigs, walleye jig makers. The salt guys are coming on soon. I saw Jig Addict pop in the chat earlier from the West Coast, California striper fishermen. Everyone thinks striper fishermen on the East Coast, but Jig Addict's a striper fisherman on the West Coast. So we're bringing in, I'm bringing in all these different types of designers and perspectives. And I just believe that we all are going to learn from each other, and it's sometimes more than other things, and sometimes we're going to get other ideas. Minimally, TJ, if we remind ourselves that there's more that we can do from these other designers, or just to try something new, hey, then we've accomplished what we've done. Whether it's you doing your bass stuff or the crappie stuff, dude, I appreciate you having on tonight, man. I mean, it's my goal.
Yeah.
You're right. We're right where I need to be. My new goal is an hour for every show, and we're there. What's your goals for this year, bud? You obviously want to get
Uh,
you're hoping your mobility um gets better, your health improves,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What
I'm for
else?
sure. I got. I'm gonna try to push through a lot of physical therapy this year for sure. That's something that I'm trying to juggle in between orders and working, and that's something I'm still having to do for my surgery back in October, which hopefully I can try to get it cut back to 1 day a week. That would actually help me out a whole lot. But just right now, I'm getting so much gain back. I just can't afford to miss much time. So I gotta kind of push on that as hard as I can go. But my goal is to really, I want to focus on getting in a few shops. I really want to kind of dial back on my custom side a little bit. I mean, not completely, but I kind of want to dial it back to a lot of my repeat customers. I have a lot of repeat customers now, so that's kind of a good thing. So I kind of want to just dial everything back to repeat customers, and I want to focus on getting in some shops because over the past 2 months I've had multiple. I can't even count how many have reached out, which it's kind of cool. But it's just something that I'm trying to navigate myself because I've never done anything like that before, so I don't really know how to do. It's just something. It's all learning. You know what I mean? So it's,
Yeah.
you got to kind of learn a little bit, and you'll learn the hard way. You might do some stuff good. You might need to just. It's some stuff that I might go through myself. But that's kind of my big thing I want to work on, and really want to get a website going for sure. That's something huge on my list because I want to. I kind of want to. There's a few colors I sell a lot of, so I feel like it's time to just make a website just like those colors. You know what I mean?
Those are standards, right?
Yeah, and then now that I'm buying materials in bulk and I'm getting everything, figuring out where I can buy all my good supplies, that's one hard thing with this stuff is the quality of the materials. It's you
Mm-hmm.
can buy stuff from some places and it's junk, and you can buy some places and it's super nice. So that's a lot of stuff I don't give up my secrets on a little bit because it's really hard. And I feel like guys need to learn some guys need to learn. buy this, try
Yeah.
this, buy this, try it. Because I mean, I did. You know what I mean? So I just feel like you can once you do that a lot, you can find a really good supplier. You know, and that's one thing that finally I got the supplier. That was my goal for last year was to find a good solid supplier that's got good quality. And once I got that locked, I wanted to go to shops, and I'm already at that step. So I think that's what I'm going to do.
Good
So
for
that's
you,
what I'm ready
buddy.
for. I feel like,
It,
yeah,
it's
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 definitely
hard.
it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot.
It's hard being the new guy, right? And like
Yeah, for
that's how the
sure.
last year was. And I just kept reminding myself, I go, you know what? There's things about this that I'm good at, and there's things that I don't know. And
Yep.
like for you, you know how to make jigs. You don't know this other part, but you're gonna learn. And it makes it all interesting and it makes it all
Yeah.
worthwhile. And I will tell you this, dude. I have the I have all the respect in the world for you, dude, because you were there supporting me from day one and just being around, dude. You post stuff,
I appreciate that.
always supportive. And since I started Jig Squad, and like I kind of owed it to you, and it wasn't going to go any other way. I mean, there's gonna be other good people we have on. Don't get me wrong, but I owed it. I owed it to my favorite
Yeah.
from the beginning, who was with me from the beginning, from when I started Jig Squad, and that's you. And I respect the hell out of you. And I'm
Well,
really
I appreciate that.
appreciative that you were my first crappie jig interview person, you know?
Yeah, man. Because
Um,
we actually had this lined up for last year, and
we did.
I'm pretty sure I chickened out on it. So kind
Yes.
of learning.
Trippy,
I'm still
Tri-
learning.
Trippy was supposed to be on last spring, you guys. So
Yeah.
this was a long time in the making, and then he had the surgery and everything else. So I'm just happy that we've gotten to that point that he's able to do it. And you know, guys, go try some jigs out. You know, they're 250 a piece. You know, try them out and try some of the finesse game, whether you're going to float and fly them or you're actually going to fish them, you know, straight up jig style, whatever you want. I think there's all
Yeah.
options there, and especially while he's still doing some customs. So before he stops taking the custom orders. So dude, I appreciate you a ton. I'm gonna have you on again. I might bring you on
Appreciate that.
sometime on one of my Saturday night little Saturday night lights when we're just hanging out and bullshitting a little bit. But dude, I appreciate
Yeah,
having you on.
I'm game, man.
Absolutely, dude.
Appreciate that.
Everyone,
I appreciate the invite.
you earned it, buddy. You're one of the best in the game, and I think you have to hear other people see your stuff more and get those opportunities, and I think you deserve them. And I appreciate you, dude. You guys, it's been fun. This has been Jig Squad.
Well, I
TJ,
appreciate it.
stay in chat afterward when I end this. We'll talk for a sec after I end this. But you guys, we're back in 2 weeks.
All right.
But this has been Jig Squad, and if you a couple of things, guys. I still have sticker packs available. I'll put some posts up again. The new ones are up. The other thing is, you know, like I said, even if you're not always on the audio podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, this will be downloaded by Saturday morning onto the podcasting platforms. So if you could go onto those platforms and at least leave they have like a star ranking, and I don't, you know, be honest, rate it how you view it to be, and leave a little review. I would appreciate it. I think it goes a long way at the end of the day when I'm trying to market Jig Squad to other people a little bit. So be honest, be good to each other, and keep making jigs, guys. We're out of here. Let's roll the outro. I don't know if I've been rolling the outro lately. Here we go. Peace, folks. We'll see you.